Yo, this your boy CEO Hockley. Real quick, man. Today's episode is being sponsored by OGHollywoodspeaks.com. Yes, that's right. OGHollywoodspeaks.com has this fly gear, man. Savage Drive, man. He has this very fly gear, man. He's a former prisoner that changed his life, did 25 years after receiving a life sentence, got home, and he been home 10 years, man. He's been out, he's been free 10 years. He has his own clothing line called Savage Drive. It represents the kind of drive you need to have to make it to the top, the kind of drive you need to have to stay free, right? And as we talk about this prison topic, I want to highlight and show and give respects to those that have been to prison and that are doing the right things in today's society. Everybody go to OGHollywoodspeaks.com and get that Savage Drive. If you got the drive it takes to be successful, man, support him. Also, you can follow him on YouTube. You can follow him on all social medias at OGHollywoodspeaks.com. We appreciate the support here at CEO Talk, and we also like to support other black people doing something positive, man. Savage Drive, that is the clothing line. Get yours today. Salute.
What's good? What's good? What's good? We back in the building, man. Remember to go to www.com, OG Hollywood Speaks, right? And get that Savage Drive gear. Because like I always say, you have to be some type of savage to make it out here in this flatland. And you have to have the drive to go to the next level. It doesn't matter what you're involved in. The drive is what's going to get you to the next level. Remember that, www.OG Hollywood Speaks, and get that Savage Drive gear, because the drive is what it's all about. Anyway, man, let me get in it. Let me get right to it, right? Y'all know I did a video the other day about the Unlocked series, right? And I had a amount of questions. And somebody sent me an email wanting to know if I would talk about the inmates and as far as they pay. What did they get paid to be exposed to the public of what they were in jail for, how they acted in jail, and what they was willing to do to participate in an experiment in an Arkansas jail, right? Some of those guys was in there for some crimes, man. You had one guy that was in there for murder, man. As a matter of fact, it was two guys in there for murder, if I stand corrected. However, they've been sentenced and they've been sent to prison where they're serving time. One of those guys is serving a life sentence. And it's a horrible thing, man. When anytime you've been given a life sentence, man, especially if there's no possibility of parole, ask yourself, can you survive up under those measurements of a life sentence without the possibility of parole? That's a long time being incarcerated. Some life sentences are handed down due to the fact because the case warrant them to have a life sentence, right? But that's neither here or there. That's the court's decision. But I will say this. Whatever you do in life, don't put yourself in a position to be given a life sentence, man, because that's exactly what it is. And that motherfucker is mental and it's brutal. So don't put yourself in that position to get that time. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. The Unlocked series, where the inmates paid to participate in that experiment. Well, the answer was yes. But it was far less money than the production company paid the Pulaski jail. It was far less than that. So let me just show you some of the characters that participated in this experiment, right? And we can go down through there and talk about how much they got paid and was it worth it being exposed to the whole world at your most vulnerable state? Or was it worth it showing how you acted inside an institution when it came time for you to be judged on whether you was going to be sentenced smaller time or bigger time? I don't think people even thought about that, because if you was in jail for a case, and say for instance your case was already aggravated, and you're going to judge and you're going to court and you haven't even been sentenced yet, well, the downside of being on that experiment, if the judge or the DA is already trying to prove a point and you are already in jail for an aggravated crime and you acted aggravated inside of the pod, that proved a point. So what I'm really saying is that it exposed a lot of people. Did it help some people? It's to each his own, right? But I will say this, man, any man that has his mind made up whether he's going to go to prison or whether he's going to go to jail, he's going to stay out regardless of whether a program or not. It's just totally up to the individual. So I'm in disagreement whether programs work or not, because you can go to 100 programs. If the man himself is not willing to change, no program that's in place will be able to help that person. That's just straight across the board. Because some men, they don't adhere to things in life, period. They don't adhere to structure. So being incarcerated is a structured environment, and that environment works better for that person. Like I said, some men do not operate outside of a structured environment. And still I say they do not operate according to society want them to act. So they leave the people in society, which is the judge, to keep them incarcerated inside a structured environment, man. And that's what you saw on the Unlocked Experiment. Men that were trying to act right in a structured environment, and some men wasn't. Namely, Randy. Randy was a person that stayed in jail, in and out of jail, and the only time he found structure was inside of jail. He's not the only one guilty of that. It's a lot of people that's like that. They return back and forth to prison. Why? Because the only structure they know is inside of a jail cell. Inside of a jail cell. So what I'm about to do, man, I'm just gonna show a picture, man, of the characters that was involved in this particular movie, man. And ask yourself, is you being exposed to the whole entire world, millions of people, you being exposed at your most vulnerable state inside of a jail, and not only are you inside of a jail, it's the things you participate in and the way you conduct yourself, regardless whether you're in the jail or out of the jail, because you are who you are no matter where you go. Now, don't let that go over your head. You are who you are no matter where you go. Check this out. These are the men that was in jail, right? They were held in jail, and they all were given $75 to participate in this experiment, right? Like I said, some of these guys were doing major crimes, and they hadn't even been to court yet. Yet and still, they participated in this program that paid them $75. Look at the setup. Look at the majority of people that are in jail. I will say it's a diverse group of people, but this color right here overshadows the whole room. So it's not a diverse group of people. You know, you had a couple of white guys that were sprinkled in, right? So what I'm really trying to say, man, is that the system, man, is filled with black men, bottom line. At the most vulnerable state, they were given $75 to participate in a program to where the production company was called Lucky 7. I stand corrected on that. The production company was called Lucky 8, and they gave $60,000 to this particular county jail, right, to shoot this documentary inside of their jail. So if you can imagine them giving $60,000 away just to shoot this, it's no telling how much money they made, right? So in other words, what I'm saying, on the back end of that, $75 is not a lot of money to be exposed to the public on what you're in jail for, how you acted in jail, and the things you have to go through in jail, right? I will say this though. It's a positive side on that. It's just all about how you attack it. If you take what you learn from this experiment and apply it to your everyday life and society, it's possible you could be successful. It's possible you could mentor some people and try to persuade them to do other things other than be in this position like you're in, going to jail for murder, and they come along and get you to sign a document and offer you $75 to get placed in the experiment that pays this county jail $60,000, right? $60,000 you pay the jail. However, in Arkansas, it's a law that forbids inmates from getting any kind of money from any documentary. Yes, it is a law. So, like I said, these are the inmates that participated in this particular program, right? And they were given $75 to participate, right? And I don't think I would have did that. Not for $75, not to be exposed to the whole world and how I acted in accordance with who I am and the way that I carry myself, right? But most people that go to jail are already considered animals. They're already considered animals. So they were taken advantage of, man. They were taken advantage of. And if you've watched the documentary, man, you see that numerous of times they were doing drugs, they were smoking coffee. A man smokes coffee, he suffers from mental illness if he thinks he's getting high off of Keefy coffee. In jail, Keefy coffee is the bottom of the barrel. Look at these guys. Do any of these guys look like they're very well off? Most of these guys are come from a impoverished neighborhood that are struggling. Like I said, a prime example, Keefy coffee is not a name brand coffee when you're incarcerated. It's a coffee, it's low budget, and once you put it in the water, it looks like mud. Keefy coffee. But you have to be incarcerated to understand that Keefy coffee is low, bottom of the barrel, man. And let's go back to the $75 they were given. $75 is not a lot of money when you're incarcerated, man. With the way inflation is and the way things that are sold on commissary, $75 probably will last you one spin. But these people made millions of dollars off this documentary, especially Netflix. But they made it at the vulnerability of these guys right here. It wasn't to enhance safety in the jail. They seen a payday, and they all came to the round table and discussed it. and they use these people that are in this room to get paid off of. That's exactly what they did. However, the people in the room couldn't recognize that. They had nothing to lose. Some people don't get $75 a day, not even when they free. Less known, they got $75 coming from a family member. And if you've watched this documentary, these people had problems with families. Most of these guys didn't even have families. Most of these guys were drug addicts, lower level hustlers, as I should call it. Lower level hustlers. And you had younger people that participated in gangs. And some of them had high profile cases, murder cases to be exact. So all these people were preyed upon even before this documentary was even shot. So I just wanted to come back and expound on how much they got paid. Like I said, they got paid $75 a piece to participate in this experiment. What Sheriff Higgins said, with the hopes of opening other doors and unlocking other pods so they could all get along. Well, I'll tell you this. If you get a man that comes to jail with a capital murder case, he could care less if a fucking door is open or not. He could care less if he's facing the death penalty. He could care less if he's facing life without parole, if the door is open or not. But like I said, it was very entertaining. And I understand that's what the majority of the world want. They want entertainment at the expense of people like these. People like these, and a lot of these guys suffer from mental illness, especially this guy right here by the name of David Miller. He suffered from mental illness, right? And just take a look at the picture. Do any of these guys look like they're financially well off? I don't think so. So this was easy money for Netflix in that county jail. $75 a piece to each inmate that's in the room is not a lot of money. It's really crumbs off the table. But like I said, I got asked this question, so I want to bring clarity to the situation so people can understand the only way you can beat this shit right here is stay out of these situations right here. This steel picture tells it all. This is the place you don't want to be in right here. You don't want to give a person those type of ups on you to where they controlling everything you do at all times. And you damn sure don't want to be in this room where people that have never had any type of leadership or any power in the world telling you when to come get your tray and when you should not come downstairs, like the pod boss Randy. He was given make-believe power, man. And at the end of the show, he was voted out, man. But like I say, man, that's neither here or there, man. My main thing today was to bring some clarity on what these guys were paid. They were paid $75. So I don't want nothing to overshadow that. That is my main focus today. They were paid $75. However, Lucky 8, which is the promotion company that shot this movie, awarded this particular jail or this county a $60,000 check. And did none of that money go toward these guys' legal team. And some of these guys are in serious trouble. So anyway, man, y'all leave y'all likes, y'all comments, and let me ask you this. Would you take $75 to be exposed to the whole world? Simple as that. Would you take $75, man? Y'all remember to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And most of all, share this content, man. Until next time, salute, man.